Hey friends, so this Lenovo Thinkbook is exactly why I love working with Lenovo. They come up with just the wildest designs sometimes, and they still have their mainline products, right? So you can still get a good consumer laptop or a good business laptop or a good gaming laptop, and then they experiment with all these different types of laptops. It's super cool. So what we have here, this Thinkbook G2 ITL, is a well-spec'd Ultrabook that looks and feels like an Ultrabook. But in addition to that, it has a really awesome business function. I mean, it could be a consumer function as well. And that's this e-ink display. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? Like there's going to be compromises. It's somewhat of an experimental almost like a Gen 1 product. And the reason I hesitate on calling it Gen 1 is that Lenovo for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years have been experimenting with e-ink displays. So yeah, there are many. Okay, many different ones they've made. Okay, so let's first do the laptop portion, and then we'll talk about this e-ink display. That way I get you guys to watch longer. Okay, so this is super thin and light, and the I/O is great. You get 2 Thunderbolt C ports and a headphone jack. Look at how thin this is with a wedge design. On the front lip, you get a really nice Thinkbook logo and a lip so you can easily open this thing up. And on the other side, we have our power button, an LED indicator. There's also a built-in stylus. Now this stylus has different tips, and it has buttons on it. So we'll come back to that. On the back, it doesn't look different than any other laptop, right? It just looks like a laptop with feet on it. But here's what's different about it. Lenovo, for the first time that I've noticed, they've implemented this rubberized sort of comfortable finish to the back. So it looks like aluminum. It probably is. I mean, this feels like aluminum. It could be a fairly thick plastic too. I'm not 100% sure. But the difference is, has that nice texture to it. So when you're using it in e-ink mode, it's more comfortable. But then when you're just using it, it's more comfortable, which is ideal. Okay, you cannot one-hand open this thing. All right, so you got to do it that way. But when you open it up, no surprises. You get a very good keyboard. An excellent trackpad. This is a glass trackpad, and it's the best trackpad I've seen from Lenovo in a while, although most of my reviews have been on the ThinkPads and on the gaming laptops recently. Okay, so nothing here will surprise you. It's backlit. It feels good to type on. Nice big keys. It's that Lenovo, their standard key shape. I don't know what they call it, but we'll call it Lenovo key shape, so it's all good. Now, the display is a high resolution. This one is 2560 by 1600, 13.3 inches. So it's a traditional 16 by 9. It does support Wi-Fi 6, comes pre-installed with Windows 10. You can upgrade to 11 though, it's compatible. Inside this machine are 2 RAM bays. I believe one is soldered on at 8 gigabytes. The other one in this laptop is 8. So you get a total of 16 in dual channel, and it's a 512 gigabyte SSD. So that's all good. The CPU in this is a 11th gen i7, so it's the 1160 G7, which is not the super fast mobile chip, but it's still a very good mobile chip, particularly for the type of work that people will be doing on this. Okay, so now here's the fun part. It's the e-ink display and all the things you can do with it. So first of all, this e-ink display can do consumer stuff, like you want to read a PDF or you want to read a Kindle type book, right? You open up this, fully replicates the Windows operating system that runs on top of the hardware, okay? So it's not a separate operating system for this. So it's an overlay on top of Windows. So what you'll do, and I have not mastered this, is you'll load up Windows the way you normally would, because it's going to be faster. You fire up the laptop, you turn it on, you wait for it to turn on, and then, because it's not instant on, like a MacBook is, the new MacBooks are. Okay, I'm just going to sign in. All right, so now I'm in. Now that Windows is running, I can come back to this display, okay, and it's not lightning fast. Okay, so now you see I have Windows, and then here comes that overlay. So the e-ink system is prompting me. It's going to go to sleep unless I make a decision. So I'm going to say I want to use the e-ink display. I don't know if I caught that in time. It was counting down. All right, come on. See this carrot? I'm glad you guys are seeing this in real time because I have been struggling with this. This LED carrot, I don't know if you can see it, I don't know if it's LED. This light tells me that it's on. Like, that's what I think, right? But it points towards the power button. So I don't know if it's just always on. I hit the power button. Come on, baby. It refreshed, so something was going on. I don't know what this does. I thought this was to turn on the display. I've tried pressing it. I haven't tried holding it. All right, now that power button went off, or it was flashing, which tells me it's in standby mode, but I don't know if that's correct. All right, let's try firing it up again and making sure we get logged into Windows, like I am. Okay. I'm going to close the lid. This will flash. It'll prompt me that it's going to go to sleep. I say no. Use the e-ink display. So I can see these graphics fading a little bit, so it's not refreshing. Shoot. Okay, let's see. This isn't, it's supposed to do. I can see the cursor. I think there's a problem here, but I'm glad you guys are seeing this. Okay, good. So I was able to press that button to kick in the overlay that sits on top of Windows that's specifically designed for this e-ink display. Now I have a few options at this point. I can do some note taking. I can read a book, like maybe I have some of these ebooks or something installed. I'll be interested to see where this takes me. If it takes me to some type of Kindle app, that would be great since it's the most popular platform for reading ebooks. Or maybe it takes me to a URL, and then I can go to the Kindle URL in Edge browser, the drawing board, or I can manipulate the settings. Okay. Now there's also these widgets that are listed here. There's access to what looks like a calendar, an Outlook widget, so you can see what's coming up in your day. This is a weather widget. You're not seeing stuff because I'm not connected to my Wi-Fi at the moment, and I don't know why that is. I thought I did that. You can create sticky notes. You can fire up different applications. So PowerPoint and Word are already attached here, or I can press the plus icon, and that'll take me to a new app that I can add. Maybe I want to add Excel, for example. That'd be really weird on the e-ink display. Now, there's also a status bar. Hopefully this is coming through here in the video. You get your power indicator, your Wi-Fi status, and then on the left, the date and time. So Lenovo is giving you everything you need so you know that don't miss your next meeting, or plan for your next meeting. Fire up important applications, or do some more fun stuff. What I was referring to as consumer stuff before, like reading a book. So I'm going to create a new note by hammering that button. And that created a new sticky note, but didn't actually open it. So let's try clicking on it. Come on, man. What's going on here? All right. You can directly take notes on the e-ink screen, and the notes are automatically saved in real time. Okay, this is a first time opening type tutorial. Notes can be converted into text or exported as pictures or PDFs. And use shortcuts with the buttons on the stylus. Oh, fast note taking. Let's do it. All right. Now we're in. Our note taking is limited to what's in the box. Now I'm trying to zoom to see if maybe I could zoom into that box, make my writing apparatus larger. That doesn't appear to be possible. So let's try writing. Okay, that's a bad sign. Didn't work. Okay. In fact, there we go. Now this would be a eraser. I'm going to go back to the pencil. Write in the box. Well, I am. Let's try writing out of the box. It's in touchscreen mode. Finger writing turned on. Okay, so the stylus wasn't working. That's definitely not good. I don't want to press too hard, but yeah, as I manipulate here, so that's a good sign that it works at all. All right. Hey, sorry about that. I had someone come to my door, so apologize for the interruption. All right, so I'm going to try docking the pen, seeing if I could then pull it back in. So kind of an odd thing here. The shape of the port is irregular, right? But the shape of the pen looks square. So it'll take some getting used to put this in correctly. Okay, I've put it in. Now I'm going to eject it, see if that makes things better. Fire up a new note. No, still isn't working. We turn fingerprint writing off. There we go. Now we're in business. Okay, so you can use the pen, but the problem I'm seeing here is that this is not a large writing space. So, I mean, you've got this entire display here, but you're relegated to this really small, this looks like 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. Not large enough. Now, I haven't used a lot of e-ink displays for note-taking. I certainly have for reading. But as far as note-taking goes, it's doable. It's definitely slow. I mean, you can see it takes a little while for the e-ink reader to refresh and display the text, but it's not that bad. It's definitely usable. So let's go ahead and drop out of here. And it might be that these are sticky notes, and that's why they're so small. There we go. Okay, this is a regular note, not a sticky note. And I think this is all operating instead of OneNote, but I'm not certain of that. Let's see if we can change the orientation. Okay, so you can't change the orientation. Ah, you can. It just takes a little while to refresh. Okay, so now we have more usable space. More usable space. I think this is pretty good. I'm going to try drawing something. I'm not a good artist, so I'm just going to go with a stick figure. That's a happy looking person, right? Okay, so that's great. You can create some fantastic art. Make an NFT out of that. Alrighty, let's go back to our horizontal landscape. There we go. Oh, come on, man. Okay, that worked actually. Alright. So, here's a question. How do you get out from here? You've got the app taking up the whole space. I'm not seeing any sort of like back button. So what I did is I did a gesture that you would do in tablet mode inside of a Windows computer, and that seemed to do something, right? That got me out of the note, and I was able to, access these videos. I mean, you can do everything here that you would do in Windows, so that's cool. I'm going to create a new desktop just for the, ease of use. Let's go in here, and it actually just duplicated things. But like I mentioned, this is full Windows from the e-ink display. So anything that you're used to doing in Windows, you can do here if you wanted to, like opening up Spotify, for example. I'm not sure you'd want to do that, right? But it's there at your disposal. So, overall, this is a pretty neat system. And if you're looking for a good Ultrabook, you've got that here. It starts at $1,530 or so at Lenovo's website. Of course, hard to get right now due to supply shortages. But if you just want a really cool or a solid thin and light Ultrabook, you can get that here. You'd be paying a little extra for the spec. But, you can expect a laptop like this to be more like $1,400, right? So you're paying a little more. But what you're getting is this e-ink display where you can do a whole bunch of other things. And, let's see if we can get... I want to get out of notes. And what I'd really like to do is fire up that ebook reader, see what happens. But I'm not seeing a convenient way to do that. It's keeping me, right back into Windows. I'm just going to shut it down, actually. Okay. Fire it back up. Okay, I'm going to try hitting the power button. I think there's a proper way to do this, and I just haven't figured it out. It's taking me right back into Windows. I want to get to that e-ink overlay. So the way it worked last time was I opened the laptop and I logged in. Okay, then I shut it, and I hit Use e-ink display when the opportunity came up. Use the e-ink display. Shoot, right back to this. All right, I'm going to poke around. This is going to be really irritating, I think, to people watching. Okay, sorry, I had another interruption. Okay, so now we are in the e-reader. So the only way you're getting ebooks on here is through PDF. You could go to the Kindle website and then pull up one of your ebooks. It's just not going to function in a special way to optimize this device. It's just going to function like you're in a browser in Windows. That may or may not be important to you, but honestly, I don't see anybody really taking this thing and reading ebooks. But for PDFs, it makes sense, and maybe you'll want to assign something. Let's see if Lenovo loaded any examples. Unfortunately, they haven't. Let's try, we went to Documents, Downloads. Okay, let's see, Videos, just for fun. Captures. Yeah, there's nothing here. All right, so that is the Thinkbook G2 ITL, Thinkbook Plus. It's a very different device, and I'm impressed by it. I love that Lenovo does this. I love that they take chances and they create these new devices. And, they're not jeopardizing the design or usability of the laptop just by adding this functionality. And again, it's there if you want it. So yeah, let me know what questions you have, and maybe I can do a follow-up video to answer those questions. Thanks a lot. Cheers.